9 News at 5 starts right now.
I do have 3 students locked in the staff bathroom in the library.
Tonight, new audio recounts the terrifying moments after a student opened fire on his classmates at Evergreen High School. 9 News Investigates walks us through the timeline of the shooting. That includes new details tonight about the shooter's movement throughout the school. And investigators say he was radicalized before the shooting. And students are left to cope after the latest mass shooting in America hits home.
You just don't think it would happen to you. It's just hard. Like, it's just overwhelming and hard.
Right now, our attention still on Evergreen High School as we follow the latest on the shooting. Tonight, we now know the identity of one of the victims. Family has shared this photo of 18-year-old Matthew Silverstone. Matthew is still in the hospital tonight, as well as the other victim, whose family will not be releasing their identity. Thank you for joining us at 5 o'clock. I'm Sam Shocker.
I'm Kim Christensen. Investigators are still trying to piece together the motive for this shooting. This evening, we are sharing more details on how this all played out. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says 16-year-old Desmond Hawley took the bus to school yesterday. They can't say where or from whom he got that gun. But he did bring a lot of ammo with him. They say he fired so many times, they don't even have a count yet. We know 2 students were shot, one inside, one outside school, and then Hawley turned the gun on himself. He died from those injuries. Investigators hope school surveillance cameras will help them better understand his movements through the building. 9 News Investigates' Chris Vanderveen is joining us now. And Chris, investigators say this shooter was radicalized.
Kim, that's true, by an unnamed, quote, extremist network, end quote. No elaboration on that. At the same time, they say they have yet to identify a specific motive. It's not clear if the 2 students were targeted or simply part of a less specific attack. As for that attack itself, it was quick and it went down in and outside of the school.
Yeah, Chris, so much to unpack. But, you know, just as a parent, to hear radicalization online, I mean, that is something that I think a lot of parents, it piques their interest.
Absolutely does. And there's going to be more to learn from all of that. But certainly there's some lessons for parents, all of us.
Yeah, Chris Vanderveen, thank you. Tonight, we're also learning new details about the shooter. Investigators have executed at least 3 search warrants to try and figure out a motive. They say he didn't have much of a digital footprint, but believe that he may have been radicalized, and we just heard from Chris. We do know investigators have filed a search warrant for his cell phone to see who he may have been talking to. This shooting is sending shockwaves around the Evergreen community.
Families are really still trying to process the news and to figure out how they move forward. 9 News reporter Evan Krugel spoke with some students today, and Evan, the students they're still in shock at this point.
Yeah, the students say they're still in complete shock as they try to process what happened here yesterday. Many, of course, were given the day off and spent the day walking around with friends and family, trying to figure out what happened yesterday, what caused it, and how this community can move forward.
Like the home that you thought it was.
And school will be closed for all students again tomorrow. A vigil for students is scheduled to start in about an hour at a nearby park. We're live outside Evergreen High School. Evan Krugel, 9 News.
Students are trying to take action as well. Following this latest school shooting, several Colorado schools are planning walkouts against gun violence. Today, Arvada West held their walkout. Sky 9 captured this video of the students leaving the school. Similar demonstrations are scheduled for tomorrow. Both Jefferson Junior and Senior High and Stanley Lake High School will host their own. They're all set to happen between noon and 3 p.m.
And we'll, of course, have much more coverage on the shooting throughout the day here on 9 News. Our crews will be live sharing information on school resource officers and crisis funding for those in Evergreen.
So many questions tonight after a shocking assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump in Pennsylvania, and 1 person was killed in that rally crowd today.
All this played out on live television. The shots, the former president grabbing his ear and ducking before emerging bloodied, but defiantly raising his fist to his cheering supporters.
They see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Chaos, confusion, but not immediately clear what was happening. The president's security detail surrounded him, hustled him off the stage as he gestured to the cheering crowd, which appeared to still be confused about just what was happening. A man in that crowd was killed. His name has not been released. 2 other men were critically hurt. The shooter is dead as well. NBC News reports the shooter is a man about 20 years old from Pennsylvania. The FBI just said the shooter's been tentatively identified, but they're not ready to share the name, the motive, or whether that person acted alone. The former president had just started speaking when the shots rang out. It was chaos.
I'm standing next to the fence on that left-hand side. When we heard this go off, we thought it was firecrackers at first, and then somebody hollered everybody to the ground, so we're all going down to the ground. And we weren't sure if Trump got hit or not, because the first thing we saw was all the Secret Service crowding around Trump.
An attempted assassination with thousands of eyewitnesses in some fashion or another. Trump was taken away by the Secret Service. The crowd was then allowed to leave, and the investigation began. The former president posted on Truth Social a few hours later, thanking law enforcement and the Secret Service for their rapid response, also sending condolences to the family of the man who was shot and killed at the rally.
President Joe Biden condemned the shooting in his first comments after the rally tonight, calling it sick and saying there's no place in America for this kind of violence.
The Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it. Everybody.
During his comments, Biden said he was trying to get in touch at the time. NBC reports tonight the 2 men did speak tonight.
Democrats and Republicans from Colorado's congressional delegation are condemning political violence tonight. And Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert is also directly blaming President Joe Biden personally for the shooting.
I believe that much of the rhetoric from the left has escalated to this moment. Just last week, we saw Joe Biden trying to excuse his poor performance at the debate and get that behind him and say, now we need to put Trump in a bullseye.
I'd like to clarify what you just said. Do you believe that President Joe Biden bears any responsibility for what happened today, or does the responsibility for the shooting lie with the shooter?
I do believe that Joe Biden is responsible for the shooting today. Kyle Clark, an innocent supporter of President Trump, someone who loved President Trump and was there exercising their right to support him, lost their life today. Everyone who has called him a fascist, everyone who has called him a threat to democracy, who said that he should be put in a bullseye, as Joe Biden said, they need to have some very deep reflection tonight before another tragedy like this takes place.
We're under a weather impact alert. Denver made it into the triple digits today. We saw temperatures reach 100 degrees downtown. Still not a record yet at the airport. That heat is not great for wildfires burning in western Colorado. Fire crews are busy trying to contain 2 large fires near the town of Meeker. We have a crew on the scene. We're going to get to them in just a few minutes. Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Kim Christensen.
I'm Alexandra Lewis. We won't see any relief from this heat wave for at least a few more days. Let's bring in our 9 News senior meteorologist, Chris Bianchi. Chris, the heat is expected to last through this weekend?
A couple days. I'll tell you when in just a few minutes.
The entire town of Meeker is on notice tonight as wildfires continue to threaten the area.
The Lee and Elk fires are burning on both sides of that small town. Sky 9 flew over them this morning. Together, the fires have burned nearly 60,000 acres. That's about 93 square miles. The Rio Blanco County Sheriff's Office says firefighters are now working to strengthen the lines. Governor Jared Polis has also sent the Colorado National Guard out there to help. That view around Meeker shows just some of the smoke in the area. Firefighters from Brighton and North Metro have also given us a different view from the front lines with skies that look apocalyptic. I'm not going to get that out right now. And fires lighting up the ridges there. They've also seen some active areas with flames shooting up high. Firefighters are warning that these fires could grow significantly throughout the evening.
Windy conditions across Meeker are not helping those fire crews. We've been watching this live camera pretty much all afternoon. Eerily quiet out there, and you can see the trees blowing from time to time, fueling those fires. 9 News weather impact meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen joining us live now from Meeker. Corey, those winds are keeping fire crews on high alert. Just look at that haze behind you, that smoke.
Yeah, just like every afternoon lately, between 1 and 6 p.m., the winds start to kick up and the fire comes to life once again. Now, this was really a critical day, right, for the town of Meeker as to whether or not the fire would get into the town or would the firefighters be able to keep it out. And it all depends on what the winds were going to do. And they have kicked up and the fire has been reactivated. Like you said, we can see the entire sky has been filled with a thick haze once again from the smoke plumes. But really the run that this fire made yesterday afternoon was really terrifying to a lot of the residents around the Meeker area, as it consumed 20,000 acres or more, and most of which came in about an 8-hour period. That is a tremendous run, and it got the size of this fire. It's now the 11th largest wildfire in Colorado state history. But, you know, as far as the residents here, the firefighters are cautiously optimistic that they will be able to keep this fire, the Lee fire, from getting inside the town limits, because there are some some nicely irrigated ranch properties to the south of town, as well as the river basin, the White River Basin, that acts as a buffer between the fire and the town. But still, with that said, many of the residents did evacuate this town, and the rest of Meeker seems to be holding on to the possibility of this going a full-on evacuation at any time.
I got to load a few personal items and my dogs. And
wouldn't take you long to get out?
No, less than 15 minutes.
So Tim there, he's lived in Meeker for about 20 years now, he said, and he's pretty confident, like many of the firefighters are saying, that this about 2 to 3 mile zone of well-irrigated, I was actually kind of surprised to see how lush and green the south end of Meeker is. Once we got here and got the lay of the land, we kind of understood why the firefighters didn't put a mandatory evacuation immediately, and that has panned out. We have not seen any spot over fires here in the Meeker area. Most of the fire activity has been to the south and to the west of us. Reporting live in Meeker, I'm meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen for the 9 News Weather Impact Team.
Thank you so much, Corey. Corey, you're doing great work out there, and it really helps, and we're keeping our fingers crossed for the town of Meeker.
Tonight, endorsements are pouring in for Vice President Kamala Harris to become the Democratic nominee now that President Joe Biden has officially stepped out of the race for president. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jennifer Meckles.
And I'm Anisha Roy. Shortly after President Biden announced that he is stepping aside, he was the first to endorse Harris to be the Democratic nominee. Biden said that Harris has his, quote, full support and endorsement. Harris released a statement of her own saying that she plans to earn and then win the nomination and do everything in her power to unite the Democratic Party. As of tonight, Kamala Harris now has the backing of Colorado's entire Democratic congressional delegation.
Senators Bennett and Hickenlooper gave their endorsements today, and Colorado Governor Jared Polis did as well on CNN.
She's smart. She's on top of it. There's a forward-looking vision to save people money. She's put prisoners and criminals behind bars, and she's ready to lead the country.
Now, in addition to Polis, the 5 Democrats representing Colorado in the House also endorsed Harris today.
Congressman Jason Crow had previously said unless there was a major change, there was a high risk Democrats would lose the election. He is now throwing his support behind Harris as well.
She has a vision for moving this country forward, for unifying us, for protecting our rights, for bringing this country forward, not backwards. And I couldn't be more excited about her candidacy.
Even Congresswoman Diana DeGette is endorsing Harris. She is the only Democrat in Colorado's delegation who previously said that Biden should stay in the race.
Now, while Kamala Harris is not yet the Democratic nominee formally, some people already float names for who could be her vice presidential pick. Major media outlets like NBC News are reporting possible choices include several governors, like California's Governor Gavin Newsom, Pennsylvania's Josh Shapiro, Michigan's Gretchen Whitmer, Kentucky's Andy Beshear, and Transportation Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, who also endorsed Harris today.
And while endorsements are still rolling in for Harris, including a key member of the Congressional Black Caucus, others are calling for an open nomination process. This is not a done deal. The nomination process will happen at the Democratic National Convention next month. Biden had 3,900 delegates ready to vote for him to be the nominee. That includes the 72 from Colorado. Democratic state party chairs are overwhelmingly uniting behind Harris tonight. That includes here in Colorado. Colorado's chair says the state party will be planning to meet tomorrow to vote on a formal endorsement. He also said that delegates have already started discussing and showing a lot of their excitement for Harris. That is despite the challenge of changing out the candidates so close to Election Day.
Well, we certainly have our work cut out for us. The good news is the American public and Coloradans have gotten to know Kamala Harris very well over the past few years, and she's constantly delivered for us.
Anyone who wants to be nominated has to get 300 signatures from delegates, no more than 50 from a single state. Vice President Harris will be nominated, but likely others as well. And Colorado's delegates would not automatically be committed to Harris, and it would be a free-for-all until someone gets at least 1,976 delegates to vote for them. While President Biden's decision to withdraw from the race was not a surprise, it was unusual that it happened so close to an election.
9 News reporter Rachel Krause joins us now. And Rachel, you spoke with an expert and a longtime Colorado delegate who says this has happened just been a long time, like decades.
Yeah, not since 1968 has a party been without a candidate so close to an election.